In those bad old days when slavery was still practiced, old Joe stood in the marketplace awaiting the auction. He was a grand specimen of manhood, big, strong, and healthy. But on his face, at this moment, there was an expression of anger and stubbornness that only faintly reflected the rebellious feelings in his heart. His master had died, and in consequence he and many others of his fellow slaves were to be sold at public auction to the highest bidder. How he hated it all! He hated his chains. He hated the system which made it possible for human beings to be bought and sold like cattle. He hated the dreadful humiliation. While he stood there waiting in the hot sun, there grew up in his heart a determination that he would not be bought, and if he were, he would never work for his new master. Presently his name was called. The auctioneer began to describe him. Joe, fine, strong fellow, lots of hard work in him yet. I will not work, cried Joe in determination and desperation. The auctioneer ignored him and went on giving his age, his height, his weight, and other particulars. What offers? He concluded. Someone made a bid. I will not work, cried Joe at the top of his voice. No one bothered. The bidding went on. Joe listened with interest that merged into amazement. He had no idea he was worth so much. Up and up went the price. Gradually, the number of bidders decreased, but 2 or 3 went on. One man seemed determined to purchase him whatever the cost. At last, when the price had reached the highest figure Joe had ever heard offered for a slave, the hammer fell. He was sold. Soon his new master came over to take him. I will not work, said Joe. You can thrash me, but I will not work. The new master said nothing, but proceeded to lead him to his wagon. All the way out to the plantation, Joe kept on muttering to himself, I won't work. I won't work. At last they arrived, and the master, instead of taking Joe to the usual dirty slave quarters, led him to a neat little cottage, remarking, Joe, this will be your home while you are with us. This for me? Said Joe, surprised. Thank you, but I will not work. You do not need to work, said his master. Just live here as long as you please. But master, cried Joe in utter amazement, aren't you going to try to make me work? Oh no, said the master quietly. I bought you to set you free. To set me free? Oh, master, cried Joe, falling on his knees before him. How can I thank you enough? I will gladly serve you always and do anything you want me to do. From that moment, Joe became the most faithful and loyal servant his master ever had. And children, what that good master did for Joe, Jesus has done for us. He saw us standing in the marketplace, as it were, chained with sin and our hearts full of rebellion, and he gave everything he had to set us free. The Bible says that we were redeemed, not with corruptible things as silver and gold, but with the precious blood of Christ. When such a price has been paid for us, what should be our attitude? What should we say to him who paid it? What else can we say than, Jesus, dear Master, we will love and serve you all our days.